you have to do is decide what type of fence you want to put up, wood or vinyl. Then, pick out a style for your panels, posts, gates, etc. Any big box store can help you out with this at their Pro Desk. The first physical part of fence installation is finding your property corners and installing the corner stakes and string lines.
We found our property corner right here, which is the front property corner for our home. Halfway down the property line, we just put the stake in, even with the old fence line. Down this property line, we put a stake in that's the same distance off the sidewalk as the corner pin is.
If you have the room to install the stakes a foot or so past each of your property lines, definitely do that. But make sure you ask your adjoining property owners for permission before you drive stakes into their ground. Locate the pins for your property corners. Put stakes in the ground about a foot in each direction past the corner pin. Square up from the corner pin to locate your string line. Make sure your line is very taut and not touching anything. Repeat this procedure around the entire area that is being fenced in. Now we're going to lay out the post placement, which is very important. To start, you're going to make a simple template. Cut a piece of stiff cardboard in about a 15-inch square. Find the center and mark it. Now, draw 2 square lines through the center mark, one from top to bottom and one from side to side. Next, draw a square the same size as the post you are installing, centered on the hole in the center of the cardboard. For example, we are using 3.5-inch posts, so our square is 3.5 by 3.5. In this case, we are putting our posts 2 inches off the property line, so we measure out 2 inches from each side of the square and put a mark on the cardboard. You will use these marks to line up with the string line so that your post is 2 inches off the property line in any direction. The first thing we will do is locate the corner post. Take your template and lay it on the ground, holding the 2-inch marks directly under each string line. Push a nail into the ground right through the center of the template. This is the center of your corner post. Now that you've found where you want the center of your corner post to be located, remove one of the metal stakes from our bracing tool. Drive the stake into the ground with the corner of the stake touching the nail. Use that stake to hook onto to lay out your post positions along the property line. Now we are going to lay out the post positions along each property line. You need to determine the distance you want to have from the center of one post to the center of the next. In this case, we are using 3.5-inch wide posts, and we are going to keep them 2 inches off the property line. Our fence panels are 96 inches wide and are going to be attached to the face of the posts, not in between the posts. So we want 96 inches from the center of one post to the center of the next. Now, Now, using a 100-foot tape, we hook onto the metal stake and measure down the property line to mark the location of each post. In this case, our 96-inch measurement is equal to 8 feet, so we just measure 8 feet, then 16 feet, then 24 feet, etc. Not all desired distances between post centers will be that simple. Use a calculator to figure out the progressive distances going down the line and write them down. Do not just measure from one post to the next because you will not be accurate as you progress down the line. To mark the location for each post, you go back to your cardboard template. Cut a hole about a 1-inch square in the center of your template. This does not have to be very accurate. Just make sure it's around the nail hole in the center. Now, as you measure down the property line, lay the template on the ground and place the center line under your tape at each of your determined distances. Slide the template in or out using your 2-inch mark that you made outside the square post drawing to line up with the string line. When you get the template in place, take a can of bright spray paint and spray it into your 1-inch hole. This will be the location for the center of your post hole. Repeat this process going down each property line and you have an absolutely accurate layout. Make the depth and size of your footings in accordance with your local building code and fence manufacturer specifications. We recommend sauna tubes in the cold climate areas to keep the frost from pushing the footings up and save on concrete. If you are installing a wood fence, use your best posts for the corners. Make sure your corner posts are straight in both directions. You don't have to worry about vinyl fence posts because they are always very straight from the factory.